As we all know, the predecessor of dogs is wolves, and there is a close relationship between wolves and dogs, and they also have a lot in common. That's why some dogs sometimes suddenly let out a few wolf howls, which is very cute. But then again, although wolves and dogs are originally one family, there are still big differences in the personality and habits of dogs living in the wild and living in humans' homes. So, if you suddenly see a wolf one day, what would be your reaction? This foreign woman encountered a wolf when she went for a walk in the forest one day, and she couldn't get rid of the wolf until she got sick and died afterwards. The wolf kept lying on the woman's coffin and knocked on it from time to time, reluctant to leave no matter how people around drove it away. Was the wolf unable to let go of the woman, or did it have another purpose? The woman lived and worked in a large forest around the place, so she often went for a walk in the forest in her spare time to relax her tired body and mind. One day, after a stressful work, in the noon break, after eating a full meal and drinking a cup of coffee, this woman walked alone into the forest to help digestion and relaxation. This was a common thing for her, and the woman was already familiar with this forest, but she didn't expect to meet a wolf while she was walking. This wolf was relatively large, with gray fur, and looked so powerful that it really scared the woman. After she recovered, her first reaction was to run away, but along with a wolf's wail, she dismissed the idea of running away. Wasn't the woman afraid? Under normal circumstances, the woman was definitely afraid, but this wolf was unusual, with a pleading look in its gaze, and it did not have a bit of aggressiveness. Looking at the woman bashfully, it looked very helpless. It seemed that this wolf was asking her for help. What kind of difficulties did it encounter? The woman, who had relaxed her nervousness, observed the wolf in front of her and soon found that its leg was injured, which was quite seriously. The woman instantly understood the wolf's meaning, and looking at its helpless gaze, she decided to lend it a helping hand and treat its wounds. For this reason, the woman asked the wolf to wait in the same place and said she would go back to get the medicine box, otherwise its wound would become septic and infected. The wolf seemed to understand the woman's meaning and plopped down in the same place, resting there quietly. The woman then walked back quickly, and since her house was not far away from here, she returned to the forest with the medicine box after 20 minutes or so. The wolf was still lying there, immediately waiting for her return. After seeing the woman, the wolf sat up and seemed to be welcoming her back. The woman was afraid that it would tear its wound, so she told it to continue lying down and said that she would apply medic, which might be a little painful, and she hoped it would bear it. The wolf was very docile and immediately cooperated with the woman's treatment. Although it really hurt to apply the medicine on the wound, it did not struggle except for the reflex to move slightly. With the wolf's quiet cooperation, the woman carefully bandaged the wound for it. In addition, considering that the injured wolf was inconvenient to hunt by itself and her family had dogs, the woman thought that wolves and dogs were originally one family, so she brought dog food and some meat in a basin to fill the wolf's stomach. The wolf, who was rescued, showed gratitude in its eyes and gently patted the woman with its front paws. The woman knew that the wolf was thanking her and said to it with a smile that "You're welcome, it was a favor and I was happy to help you." In the following days, the woman would go to the forest at noon with the medicine box and the food to heal the injured wolf. The wolf was also very spiritual, waiting for the woman at that place every day at noon and showing its gratitude to the woman with some actions after getting help. About a week later, the wolf's wound was healed with the woman's careful help. Then the woman smiled and said to it, "Your wound is healed, go home to your companion, be careful not to get hurt again, and wish you a good life." The wolf understood her meaning and walked deeper into the forest while looking back at the woman who waved goodbye to it, reluctantly. The woman thought her story with the wolf was over, but she never imagined that the wolf would appear at her funeral one day when she was sick and died. No one knew how it got the information. Maybe the animal has a strong sense that humans do not have. So why did this wolf appear at the woman's funeral? We could guess from the previous events that it came to see the woman off, otherwise it would have no need to venture into the human world and participate in the woman's funeral alone. However, the next action of the wolf was very strange. It ran to the woman's coffin without saying a word, and then jumped onto the woman's coffin with a light leap, much to the surprise of the people present. Everyone was curious about what it wanted to do. The wolf jumped onto the woman's coffin and knocked a few times before lying on the woman's coffin, and it was unwilling to leave no matter how the people present asked it to come down. Not only that, the wolf also knocked the woman's coffin from time to time, as if it was desperately trying to convey any message. Some people guessed that it might be doing some magic for the woman, but the problem was that there was no such culture in the wolf tribe. Some people thought that the animal had a perceptive power that people did not have, and maybe it sensed something different. It was just like animals could sense the coming of natural disasters in advance and alerted people with strange actions, so the behavior of wolves should be taken seriously. Perhaps because the people were slow to guess its intention, the wolf became more and more anxious and began to knock the coffin hard, and it looked very uneasy. At this time, someone finally thought of a possibility. The woman was not really dead and the wolf sensed the woman's breathing. With this guess, people then opened the coffin and found that the woman was really still alive. The wolf suddenly appeared at the funeral and made strange behavior precisely to save the woman. Seeing that the woman was not dead, the crowd hurriedly sent her to the hospital. After the doctor's examination, everyone realized that the woman was suffering from sclerosis, the symptom of which was that her body was stiff and she could not move, looking like she was dead. Fortunately, the wolf appeared at the critical moment and kept sending signals to people, which made the woman escape from danger, otherwise the consequences were unimaginable. And this wolf made a special trip to save the woman. It was undoubtedly to repay the kindness. Over the years, it had never forgotten the woman's kindness of rescue and had been silently keeping an eye on the woman's living condition and guarding her safety. The canine's sense of smell was very sharp, and the wolf had been living in the wild for a long time, so it must have an even sharper sense of smell, so it could judge some situations by scent. Together with the animal's strong perception ability and the wolf's usual attention to the woman, it rushed to her funeral to rescue the woman at the fastest speed when her death was faked. This wolf was not only spiritual, but also affectionate and kind, it worthy of being a family with dogs. For this reason, the woman and her family adopted the wolf to express their gratitude to it, giving it delicious food and warm care every day. Moreover, the woman and the wolf were very close to each other, they had saved each other's lives, and such friendship was no less than the emotions between humans, so there was nothing wrong with becoming one family. After being adopted, the wolf also gave warm companionship to the woman and her family, and it was very understanding. Knowing that the woman's health was not good, it often followed the woman's side to guard her and prevent her from being in danger. It must be said that good intentions have good rewards. Although the wolf and the woman were different species, they both had a kind heart when they helped each other. One got protection and the other has a warm home. Look, humans and animals are able to live together in harmony and will form a pure bond out of love. Humans should live with animals in friendship and love, and I believe that life will become more wonderful with the participation of animals. Let me know what you thought of the story in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.